Following on from my 10 underrated anime video, I thought I'd do something similar with manga. Being a medium with far fewer restrictions than anime, it's jam-packed with hidden gems. Unfortunately, I'm not as well versed in manga, so I thought I'd bring in a friend to help me out. So Kenji's going to be giving some recommendations in this video. He's made some really great picks, so enjoy. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to his channel if you like his stuff. That'll be in the description.
Hey guys, my name is Kenji, and today I'll be listing 10 manga that I feel are underappreciated. I picked out works from a variety of genres and mangaka, so hopefully there'll be something out there for just about everyone here. With that out of the way, let's just jump in. I'll be starting off with Nickelodeon, a collection of short stories by Daomen Seiman. Despite being only about 7 pages long, each story plays on interesting themes and concepts that range anywhere from characters dealing with sexual identity and love, to fujoshi ghosts and all kinds of nonsense in a whimsical manner. At times the results are hilarious, while at others they can be heartwarming and even sometimes both. The light and playful nature of this work is complemented by Daoman's signature minimalistic, cartoony art style, which fits the subject matter like a warm glove. If you're looking for something short and sweet, Nickelodeon is a must-read. Homunculus is a psychological thriller about a man who, due to various circumstances, gets a surgery called trepanation, in which a hole is drilled into his skull. After the surgery, he gains the ability to see people's homunculus, a manifestation of their insecurities. While the concept of this manga may seem simple at first, there's a lot more to it than it presents on the surface, as the narrative constantly throws red herrings at the reader, and more questions arise about our protagonist and his reliability as a narrator. On top of that, the art by Hideo Yamamoto is spectacular and abundant with detail in every panel. The attention to detail placed into designing each character's homunculus is incredible, as the physical features of each homunculus subtly represent the owner's inner fears and insecurities. This is a work that challenges the reader to think for themselves when it comes to interpreting the events of the story, and if you're into that sort of thing, this work is definitely for you. Moving on to National Quiz, which by far has the most creative setting on this list. The story is based in a world in which Japan won World War II and became a dominant power within the world. It established a form of government where all major decisions are decided by winners of a game show called the National Quiz. In order for a person's request to be fulfilled by the government, they must first answer trivia questions and score a certain number of points. The more difficult their request is to fulfill, the more points are required. The manga excels in its world building, giving us details about the state of its setting through propaganda commercials shown in between chapters. It serves as a sort of 1984-esque warning against the dangers of big government, and does it in a rather creative way. My fourth pick is none other than Hanaotoko, a slice-of-life manga by Taiyu Matsumoto, better known for his other work, Ping Pong, which got a well-received anime adaptation back in 2014. Similarly to Ping Pong, Hanaotoko uses Matsumoto's unique style of magical realism to tell a story very much grounded in reality. It follows a young boy named Shigeo and his father Hano, whose names I probably just butchered. His father leaves him at an early age in order to pursue his passion for baseball. One summer vacation, Shigeo's mother tells him to visit his father for the duration of the break. The appeal of this manga heavily relies on the relationship between father and son. On the one hand, Shigeo is strict and places a lot of value into his education, whereas his father is the polar opposite, a free spirit who just loves to have fun. As the story progresses, we get to see Shigeo loosen up and his father come to terms with a world very different from that of his youth. It's a very slow-paced and playful manga with quite a bit of spirit to it. If you enjoyed the Ping Pong anime or manga, you'll probably love this one as well, so I recommend checking it out. Next up, we have another slice-of-life title, but this time with a bit of a twist. Sumire 16 Sai. This is a typical high school comedy manga looking at the lives of a few young ladies. However, one of these girls, Sumire, just so happens to be a life-sized puppet carried around by an ambiguously creepy old man dressed in black. The chapters are primarily standalone stories that play off the central gimmick of the work, and most of them hit the spot comedically. Watching people react to a bunch of girls hanging around an old man carrying around a life-sized marionette can evoke quite a giggle if I do say so myself. However, when all is said and done, the manga does a bit more than just entertain. It delivers a positive message about not judging a book by its cover, and ends on a surprisingly emotional and satisfying note. The Music of Marie is a surreal journey through a world in which mankind is looked down upon by a giant mechanical woman in the sky named Marie that brings happiness and prosperity to everyone. The first volume primarily focuses on exploring the world filled with strange technology such as wind-up mechanical animals and other oddities, which give the whole manga a strange, eerie feel. It's like exploring a foreign and alien land. After this is established, the second volume picks up the pace and dives deeper into ideas such as religion, free will, and utilitarianism. It's a really crazy ride, and I'm just gonna leave it at that in order to avoid potential spoilers. Bokko is a historical drama that takes place during China's Warring State period. The town of Rio is faced with the threat of an invasion from a much larger country, Chiou. Unable to face Chiou on its own, Rio requests aid from the Bokko clan, a group of trained tacticians and warriors that help small cities fortify themselves against attack. To Rio's surprise, the Bokko clan only sends one representative, a small bald man named Kakuri. The manga plays out like a tactical game of castle defense, in which Kakuri takes command and uses various strategies to defend a small city from a huge invading army. Watching him try to gain the trust of the people of Rio, while also setting up various defenses, is pretty entertaining on its own, but the manga has even more to offer. Near the end, it begins to use the setting and characters to make the reader look upon his own life introspectively. It's an interesting direction for the manga to go into, and gives the events presented quite a bit more depth beyond their own context. While Yokohama Kaidashi Kikou, or YKK, is a bit more well known than some of the other manga on this list, I feel the need to include it anyway just to spread awareness for this masterpiece. YKK is a slice-of-life manga that embodies the beauty found within the fleeting and ephemeral things in life, more than any other work in its genre. It takes place in a world where, due to natural disasters, humanity is declining. Large towns such as Yokohama slowly fade away, becoming nothing more than small shopping centers, as society's way of life slows down and humanity calmly accepts its fate. What makes this work particularly endearing is our protagonist. Alpha is a cyborg who runs a small cafe outside of Yokohama and is completely immune to aging. Alpha watches as new people come and go and the scenery constantly changes, looking different on an almost daily basis. Watching an ever-changing world through the eyes of someone immune to it gives the manga a profound sense of melancholy. The merits of this manga don't stop there, as it has some of the most masterful paneling in the medium. Every image is dense with content, and it's easy to just stare aimlessly at every single page and just take in the beauty of a world slowly fading away. There are also more subtle merits to YKK's presentation, such as the way it portrays the flow of time. The manga begins with every chapter covering a short period of time, but as things begin to settle down and the reader becomes comfortable, time begins to fly, and each chapter covers a longer period of time. This is meant to mimic the way time works in reality. Once we get accustomed to a situation, time begins to move much faster. I could honestly talk about this manga for hours if I wanted to, so I'm just gonna stop myself here and move on to my 9th choice. The Legend of the Strongest Man Kurosawa is a tragic comedy by Fukumoto Nobuyuki. Fukumoto is best known for his gambling-related psychological thrillers such as Kaiji, Akagi, Ten, and many more. Unlike his other works, Kurosawa doesn't focus on gambles, but rather the life of an unlikely hero. Kurosawa is a middle-aged construction worker with no friends or loved ones to speak of. He has lived most of his life in an indecisive and shallow way, blaming his unfavorable position in life on his bad looks and socially awkward demeanor. On his 44th birthday, none of Kuro's co-workers recognize him, which causes a change of heart. Kurosawa chooses to do everything in his power to become popular and live the life he's always dreamed of. The story focuses on Kurosawa's often comically failed attempts to find his place in society by being nice to others. Each story arc acts to both develop Kurosawa and his conviction, as well as flesh out the events that led him to where he ended up in the first place. This work manages to blend comedy and tragedy brilliantly, without ever leaning on jarring tone shifts. If you're looking for an inspirational story about a man's search for redemption and belonging, this manga is for you. And what a better way to end a manga list than with Even a Monkey Can Draw Manga, a piece that makes fun of the manga industry and various genres and demographics within it. The story is more of a vessel for satire than anything else. It stars two amateur mangaka planning to take over the world with their work. Each chapter covers their attempt to create a different manga, and they range anywhere from shonen to shoujo, and mahjong to mystery. If you're into manga in general, this will give you a good laugh no matter what genre you like.
So there's 10 manga recommendations, and I'm sure you found a bunch of new titles to check out. And of course let me know any other manga recommendations you have in the comments. And let me know what you think about manga videos. Would you want more in the future? Do you like this specific style? Let me know all that in the comments.